Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Box Office Receipts for the weekend of December 7th, 2018. I'm your host Tyler Callahan, and this week is a bit of a slow one. First, let's start out with the weekend numbers. Coming in at first place for the third weekend in a row is Ralph Breaks the Internet at $16.1 million, bringing its total to $140.8 million. In second place is The Grinch with $15.1 million, with its total now being $223.4 million. In third place, just like last week, is Creed 2 with $10.3 million, now with a total of $96.4 million. Again, just like last week, in fourth place is The Crimes of Grindelwald with $6.8 million, bringing its total to $145.2 million. And finally, in fifth place is Bohemian Rhapsody with $6 million, bringing its total to $173.5 million. For new releases, the re-release of Schindler's List at 14th place, which did $551,000 in 1,029 theaters, with Box Office Mojo saying it averaged around $535 per theater. The other new release was Mary Queen of Scots in a limited release, came in at 23rd place. However, it was only in 4 theaters and it made $200,000, so obviously once it expands to more screens it will jump a lot. Still, $50,000 on average per theater is really good. So my thoughts are, this is a quiet weekend with nothing really shaking the boat, so everything stayed the same, but still good for Wreck-It Ralph to have 3 straight number 1 weekends. Not an easy thing to do. So the big numbers internationally is Aquaman in China. Yep, Warner Bros. Had a weird release schedule when it came out in China first, then Europe, then America. So with these numbers, Warner Bros. Is probably getting some champagne ready and getting a contract for James Wan for whatever he wants, because Aquaman has made $94.8 million in 3 days. This makes it the highest opening weekend in China for any Warner Bros. Movie, and will shortly pass the lifetime gross of Batman v Superman, Wonder Woman, and Justice League in China. It also has high reviews from people on social media as well. At the rate it's going, Aquaman should finish around $250 million, depending on how its legs are. Maybe even closer to 300. Just for China alone, that is a huge deal, and if the rest of the world does go out and see it, Warner Brothers is looking at around an easy $800 to $900 million for Aquaman, and after the failure of Justice League, this would be a huge success in what Warner Brothers needed to steer the DC ship back on course. Moving on to weekend predictions, what's opening this weekend? We actually have a few movies coming out. First up, actually on a Wednesday, is the limited release of Once Upon a Deadpool, a PG-13 version of Deadpool 2, with Deadpool telling the story to actor Fred Savage. Apparently it is only opening to 500 theaters, so I'm going to say $3 million for the weekend. That is including from Wednesday to Sunday. Next up is Mortal Engines, a movie produced by Peter Jackson, not directed by him, and has not received good reviews, right now sitting at around a 35% on Rotten Tomatoes. Also, there's another movie coming out this weekend that has a lot more people's attention, so I'm going to say $15 to $20 million for the weekend, which, considering how the trailers look, that's going to be a bomb, because it looks like they put a lot of money into that one. Clint Eastwood is back in front of the camera with The Mule. Now, I haven't seen any reviews for it yet, and it is opening to 2,400 theaters around there, which is less than Mortal Engines, so I would say $10 to $15 million range. Not because it might be bad, but because there's limited theaters, and I haven't seen a marketing push for this movie either, so people just might not know it exists. Like, personally, I forgot about it completely until I saw a trailer for it this week when I went to go see Bohemian Rhapsody. Completely forgot it existed. So I don't know if other people know about it. Finally, the biggest movie opening this weekend is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which has received rave reviews across the board and is still sitting at a 99% Rotten Tomato score. Now, it is an animated movie, so predicting it is a bit hard, but I'll say it'll open in the $65 to $75 million range. Pretty good. Not regular superhero movie good, but pretty good. So to finish up here at the top 5, I'm predicting first place Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, second place Mortal Engines, third place The Mule, fourth place Ralph Breaks the Internet, and fifth place The Grinch. So that is it for this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed the little box office discussion here, and if you want to look at some of these numbers for yourself, go to Box Office Mojo. It's a great website that has a lot of this data put together. Again, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at TylerCallahan95, and go to my website at tylercallahan.com. Thank you for listening.